Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Let me bring the mic volume up here a little bit. Don't need it too off high. So I've just been playing, honestly. So we did manage to get a couple new books, like $5 for each customer entering the store. We had this double employee job speed if all employees are set to the same job. So I just had everybody set to stocking while I was off doing other things, so I can drop this in. There are a couple things that I wanted to bring up because I believe that I may have talked about it being kind of a shame that certain things weren't in the game, and set you to being a cashier. Everyone else can stay as a stocker. Right. Cool. So first big thing on this map, there's the trash can. I missed it. I did not find this for quite a while, and the only reason I ever found it was because my people were inside and they would unbox stuff and then they would come over here and they kept walking behind me because I only had the one checkout. They would walk behind me and then the boxes would disappear, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? There has to be something out here because you can click stuff through the walls. Oh, there it is. There is indeed a trash can here. The scanner does exist. Just had to get to a high enough level. I believe this was player level 20, possibly shop level 20. But once you get to that point, here it is. Beep boop, you're good. And with this item, you can just click, adds it right to a shopping cart. You can only have... Oh, okay. Well, that changes things. Oh, good. You can just right click to remove. Alright. So, what was it that I had seen then? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the most number of items you can, of separate individual items you can have, but apparently you can put on however many of these you want to. So handy dandy, it does exist. And this is one of those things I was not expecting it to exist yet, because something similar to this like just recently got added to a couple of the other simulator games I know about. Specifically Supermarket Simulator is the one that I'm referencing here with the scanner. But Supermarket Sim was out for like 2 years before the scanner got introduced. So I did want to talk about that. Another thing, I happened to see this button down here, instant add. You can just right click and then hit buy now. Downside, there's not a good way to go back in. Like if you, oh shit, I only meant to do 2 of those. Short of going in and actually telling it, no, I just want 2. And then hitting confirm, and then that'll update it in your cart. So there are absolutely better ways of doing it than what I was doing, where I was going click, click, confirm, going over here, click, click, confirm. There are definitely better ways to do that. It helps to read, ironically enough, in the book simulator game. So what have we done? We've unlocked a few extra things. So we unlocked the halfling, the story of Hilbo and his magical bling. We've unlocked Harry Fodder and the Wizard's Gem. Harry Fodder and the Dungeon of Truths. The Haunted House on the Hill. Laughter House 5 we may or may not have had previously. Same with Les Fortunes. And I would just like to say that even the synopses are fucking great because they're accurate. But they're accurate within the confines of this world. So, like, Les Mis is about the poor people in the French, but this is Les Fortunes, and it's an account of the rich people affected by the French Revolution of 1848. Fucking phenomenal. Whoever is doing this game, like, actually understands books, knows books. I fucking love you. Whoever you are, you're fucking amazing. Like Cretaceous Park by Michael Crichton, obviously Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. But that synopsis, I would accept as a synopsis, like a very, very, very brief synopsis of Jurassic Park. It's perfect. I would absolutely accept that. These are these are all just wonderful. I can't say that I know enough about the Throne of Glass series to talk about these, but like book 1, an unexpected band of adventurers embark on a journey to destroy a great evil housed within some dope bling. Because it's the Fellowship of the Bling instead of the Ring. Fucking perfect. No notes. That's hilarious. So I've been enjoying that. I've picked up a handful of licenses. This is all the licenses I've gotten so far. I've unlocked all of the manga licensing that is available in this game. Again, just no notes. Fucking well, one note. This sort of reminds me of Invincible, and I feel like we could have done a slightly better job with the Dragon Ball reference here. You know, full steel physicist, fucking awesome. My wife's note, there's not a Sailor Moon reference. She's very upset about that. Devs, if you happen to see this, that's what we need. We need a Sailor Moon reference. I don't have any of the comic books yet because I have not done Paris, France. We will get to that hopefully eventually. I've yet to really see much of a difference between these. I don't know if there's supposed to be a difference. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. Candy? Love it. The games. Oligopoly, Battle Boats, Checkmate, Sugarland. Fucking great. A famous game of deduction, reasoning, and straight up guessing. Yep, that's Battleship, alright. So, no notes, fucking great. Better than no notes, I love the fact that I did not need a separate license to buy these, to be able to put this shit in the store. This just exists. You can buy it as soon as you hit the right level. Love that. That was amazing. The fact that not every license is available from the start, I thought was rather genius. Like the Harry Potter stuff just showing up randomly. Innocence and Amnesty. Like some of this shit did not exist. So I appreciate that. I wish I could afford more licensing. Or, you know, like I could afford maybe another 2 of these. But then that's it. Like you can't get more licensing until you level up farther. I understand the point of that. Moneyball. I get it. That's funny. I understand why, so you're not overloaded, but at the same time, there's all these things here and after I buy a few and it tells me, oh no, you need to level up more, I'm a little upset by that. But that's entirely personal preference, and I understand, what's going on. Again, the branding and everything here, so on point. I love the book posters. I love that there's actual paintings as well. That kind of threw me for a loop when I saw that, because all the posters they're just book posters. And then I unlocked Starry Night, and then I unlocked Woman with Parasol, and I'm like, hold up, those are legit paintings. So that was really cool. I haven't done the hanging signs yet because I haven't gone in and actually arranged the store to be an actual store yet. So there's definitely stuff I can do. I have gone, so I have these 5 people. When they hit level 20, you have to make sure to promote them to the next level so they can keep leveling up. I love this idea. This is the greatest idea. Having people that you can get and they're pretty low, and you just put them on a task and they will learn their job and they will get better at their job. Fucking perfect. That's an amazing system. I wish every game would adopt that system. This is one of the biggest gripes that I have with most of the store simulation games on the market at the moment, is you get these people and the first person you can recruit is so painfully slow at everything they do, and there's no way to improve them. This, yes, they are painfully slow, and then they get better and they get better and they get better. Now that said, I think the number of levels might be a bit extreme. But I've been playing this game for a day. Like, I started playing this today. So what do I know? There might be, this might be the best way to do it, and I'm just not there yet. But first impressions. The cat thing, I kind of wish that there was more of a point other than that they exist. This is a cute idea, but there's like so much going on here. And like the entire time I was in the last store, I never had to clean the litter box. I did have to refill the food and water bowl once. And I think I made it to day 7, day 8, something like that on there. I didn't have the dual pet bowl or the cat tree. But like, I don't think there's actually a purpose to the animals, which is a little sad. Like, when you buy the candy shelf, customers have an increased chance to buy candy, and I'm assuming this is per shelf that's in the store. But there's no bonus that I saw associated with the pet stuff. There's nothing there. And no, clicking adopt just, okay, I adopted a cat, so I mean, why not? We'll just 1, 2, 3, 4. Buy all that. Sure, why not? We'll put it upstairs. The upstairs is not finished yet, so we'll put this up here. The control snap, another feature that I fucking love. Another thing that more games need to incorporate. That is just so fantastic. Love it. cat tower. This one we're gonna put up here. Yeah, right there. Love it. Cat can look out the window. Yep, that's great. I love it. Where's the cat? There's the cat. Didn't mean to do that, but whatever. Okay, there's a cat. The cat does not seem to bring extra business or, you know, anything like that. The other thing that that's kind of been a little bit of an aggravation has been the rare books. Because you get them fairly infrequently. I get it. They're rare. Makes sense. I understand. But taking up this whole display when you know, you might get 3 in a box. You might get none for 5 boxes. And the behavior of the customer is such that these sell pretty quickly, and then you just have a dead display unless you're just on top of it throughout the day. Kind of wish that, like, I have multiples of some of these books right now, but you can only put a single book on a shelf at a time. Not a huge deal, but is, you know, a little. I'm gonna be a little nitpicky for that one. Kitty sleeping. Can I pick up Kitty? Nope, I pick up the bed and just completely disturb Kitty. That was my bed. I didn't mean to do that, but I'll pet you. There you go. That said, let's get the store open. So we're running 3 books right now. 15% increase in the sale value because we can't not. Did find out if you hold this, in fact, I'll just do this. You can open the shop locations while holding this. You cannot open the shop locations while holding this. So you have to buy a scanner at each unique location. But so we have these 2 and the one down at the bottom. So that should be, I should be getting all 3 of those. I'm not sure if I actually am or not, but I know for a fact I'm getting the money one that's sitting right here by my counter. Let's see if someone enters my store. Also, the game has been stuttering hard. Oh no, I'm getting the $5. I just saw it. Okay. So there's that. So I am getting, theoretically, all 3 effects. Which is awesome. So I may go back and grab that book that reduces the cost when I buy stuff and get rid of Manga Master. I think that might be beneficial. We are finally dealing with change. Luckily it's only 50 cents, but one of the things I was thinking of earlier too is, you know, when games come out, there's always those, you know, things I wish I knew before I started playing. I feel like this game has done such an amazing job that, other than the handful of things I mentioned when I first started this video, like being able to right click to add things to your cart, there's nothing that I wish I knew. There's nothing where I feel like, oh God, I made a mistake and I could have advanced so much faster if I had done X, Y, and Z. There's none of that feeling. Like when I played Trading Card Game Simulator, or Trading Card Shop, TCG Simulator, whatever the hell it was called. I am drawing such a blank right now. But that was a game that I had definitely restarted a couple times because I would get to a point and I'm like, okay, I feel like if I do this, I'll do better next time. This doesn't feel like that. Like, I'm sure there are ways that I could min-max a little bit, definitely. But it's not anywhere near the same vein. Like, I feel like this game did such a good job of introducing you to what's going on. They made it super straightforward. The person who did this obviously loves books. It's been great. They did everything right, and I would struggle to point out stuff they did wrong beyond the handful of nitpicky things that I've already discussed. And again, being able to hold down the left click, like, yeah, you do still have to mouse over each individual item, but I think that's the case for every game. I could be mistaken. But if I had to click each little fucking candy bar, that would drive me up a fucking wall. And there are a handful of shop sims that do it that way, where it's like, oh no, you have to click for each item. You sons of bitches. So I'm very curious to see like what's going to be added to this game in the future. The only thing that I saw was when I booted the game up something like 12 hours ago. There was something like, you know, cafe coming soon or whatever. And that makes me laugh because at the time when I started at the bookstore I started at, we were the only one in the region that did not have a cafe. And there was constantly talk of putting one in, but there was a Starbucks in the same shopping center. You walk for 3 minutes and you were at Starbucks. So there was no real reason to ever put one in. Our store was not set up for it. And so everyone that complained about it, like, oh, we want a cafe, it's like, but why? And even the staff, where it's like, we want a cafe in this store because then we could get free drinks. And it's like, yeah, but you'd also be cross-trained on cafe and you would be making the drinks. And as a manager, I would be cross-trained on cafe. And when you chuckle fucks called out, I'd be making the drinks. And I don't like that. So I really hope it never happens. And it never happened. In fact, they started opening new stores without a cafe and using our smaller footprint as the model. The flip side to that was they decided, higher-ups decided in their infinite wisdom that if you've never worked in a cafe store, well, then you shouldn't be qualified to move any higher than a sale and inventory manager. Which was later renamed. The title became something different. They took manager completely out of the title. Pissed a lot of people off. But I won't go too deep into that because I, for as much as I don't think people should be going to Amazon and helping Bezos build another rocket, I would also highly recommend shopping. I much prefer supporting the mom and pop shops instead of the big corporate ones, but at the same time, the corporate ones are the ones that are going to be able to employ more people, when they're not slashing hours to maximize profits. I remember running around during the holidays, and we had 220 hours to divvy up to get through the week. We were open at the time from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. And then from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays. So 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So you end up with 72 hours there. Plus an additional 9 hours. Right? 10 to 7. Yeah, 9 hours. So 81 hours the store's open. You need 2 people to open, 2 people to close. At bare minimum. Oh, there's a candy bar. That's what I'm missing. It was an absolute fucking nightmare. You'd have 2 people come in. There would be 3 hours of overlap typically. I'm sorry, 4 hours of overlap between Squad A and Squad B. Assuming that, both were working the full 8.5 hour shift. Or all 4 were working the 8.5 hour shift, rather. The problem is that everyone working 8.5 hours gets 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour unpaid lunch. So if you have 4 people who each get an hour's worth of breaks, and you have 4 hours of overlap, that means that never do you have more than 3 people on the floor at any given time. And that overlap ends at 5 p.m. when most people are, getting home from work, they're getting dinner together. The evening rush doesn't typically start until 7 when you're back down to 2 people. That's 1 person for the floor and 1 person for the register. And if the phone rings, God help you, you're screwed. If there's still boxes to be received in the back, if there is shelving to be done, and spoiler alert, there's always receiving. If there's not receiving, there's returns. Because most people may not know this, but if products aren't selling, if products are damaged, the vendors want them back. If in the case of them not selling, they want them back so they can send them to stores where the demographics are buying those books. So like if you, we were a very 50-50 town, I want to say, between Democrats and Republicans. So it wasn't necessarily an issue for us. We would have, people buy both books. Didn't matter which side of the debate it was on, which side of the aisle it was on. But if you were in a place that was very red or very blue, obviously the opposite color books weren't going to do super well there, so they would recall those books and then send them to a place where they would, where they would sell better. And that would happen across all the genres. You know, if the King James Bible isn't selling super well where you are, but it's selling super well somewhere else, then they would recall all but a handful of King James Bibles out of your store, because they don't want to, you know, completely strip the store of it. And they would send them elsewhere. If Stuart Little wasn't super popular in your area because Harry Potter just took the world by storm, then they would pull all but one copy of Stuart Little, and they would send them to other stores. So there's always returns. There's always receiving. There's always shelving. It is nonstop. You are going. That wonderful adage, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Yeah, absolutely. It was a madhouse. When you are down to having 2 people, it's absolute insanity. You just hit F and check out, and then move on to the next set. That should be everything there. Put that back down. Hooray. Holy shit, we're up to 24,000. We also have this. It will cost 30,000 to unlock. The one thing I think I should put in here, if I have room, I'm sure I have room here somewhere, like right back in that corner. Perfect. If I can grab, not a checkout counter, on a manager's desk, confirm. Yeah, only one allowed, I know. Oh, right. I keep forgetting to hit. Bye now. Thank y'all. Now, I can't put this up here, right? Won't quite fit. You might, actually. You might fit if I move this. I'll put you there. Should be able to move. This to be there. Perfect. And then I can hire manager. Grab Sana here. Cool. And Sana should appear from the train station. Is it you? I think it was her. Just keep an eye on her for the moment. Yeah, it was definitely her. Alright, so there's no more manga licenses to unlock. For these, we need Lyon, France. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to go back to Lyon. Right, so we're going to take this with us. We're going to tell one of these people to be a cashier. You be a cashier. I don't know if that impacts things at all. We're also going to put all of our rare books up. Then I think we're just going to have to teleport back and forth a couple times. Just so we can take back our legendary books with us. I think that will be... Whoop, lag spike again. I think that'll be the way to go. So I'll take this one with me. I'll teleport to Leon. Put this here. Teleport back to Japan. Grab this. Then I'll teleport back to Leon. This here. Pull this one off. This here. Alright. Now, I need... Where's it at? I'm gonna need a candy shelf, definitely, but that's not what I want at the moment. Does it not exist because this shop's not high enough? Yeah, requires shop level 20. Okay, that's fine. I can wait. And by I can wait, I mean I'm gonna buy some more bookcases. I can't do the corner one yet, can I? Nope, that's level 14 in the shop. Okay. Do I have access to the candy? I do. Alright. Fair enough. We need 2 candy shelves. We need a couple large storage shelves. A couple manga bookcases. Couple bookcases. Order. Okay, boxes flying everywhere. Cannot expand this any farther. What I have is what I have. Okay. I think that pretty much means that some of this stuff has to move. I hate that that's not flush with the wall. Oh my god, why? Why do you have to be this way? Whatever, you're going there. You're going there. Grabbing the bed. Bed has to move somewhere. For the moment, the bed's going to do that. We're going to go farther into this corner. There we go. You're going to go right up against this desk here. There we go. Okay, cool. Go right there. Cool. This is going to move. This is going to go right here. Because it kind of has to. It's going to go right here. Go on this side. Gonna go there. Gonna go there. That's a candy shelf. That was not what I meant to grab. I meant to grab this. Which also fits in there, so that's fine. It's gonna go there. 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 there until I have the corner one. Why are you being annoying now? Don't want you to be annoying. Okay. Is that everything? It might be everything. Put my used books up here. It's gonna start him moving with used books. Okay. It's gonna go there. What are you? You're the other one I was looking for. Works. Now I have to do something annoying. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Why now? Okay. Now these will only fit 4 on a shelf, which is fine. We're going to do them straight across. Luckily, it stores my pricing from the other shop, so I don't have to do separate pricing for each place. These be changed. I can have them tilted in or flush. Okie dokie. And then candy. Guy's getting so dejected. He wants so badly to shelve. And it's just not working out for him. For the candy, right? There's only 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Candy in. Used books. sure that all the games make it in here. Perfect. Okay, now we need the manga. Just want to make sure that we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. By now. We'll let you shelf that. Thank you for bringing me this. I'll shelf this. Let that guy shelf that stuff. This one's not. No, that one isn't there. Alright, cool. Drop that there. Put that one. Just enough manga to completely fill 2 shelves if you double stack everything, or 1 shelf if you don't, which is lovely. Okay, now we need the books. That's going to be the big one. Order now. Oh boy. Alright, I already know I have this. Perfect. Now I already know somebody's going to yell at me because I'm not putting these in the right order. And I apologize. But I couldn't tell you what the right order is. I don't think I knew the correct order when I actually worked there. But that was sort of the beauty of it. Like, I had to know at least a little bit about everything. Enough to be passable. But much like D&D and how it's not the Dungeon Master's job to know everything about your class, that is your job to know your class. I didn't have to know everything about your preferred reading. So people would come in and they typically knew what they wanted. And if they didn't, that was kind of on them. Although the amount of times that we got, you know, I'm looking for a brand new book. It has an orange cover. It just came out on Tuesday. I heard about it this morning on NPR. And you finally find the book, and it has a black cover. It came out in 1977, and they were doing a retrospective interview. Oh, it was fun. This is Flagrant Waste. I can just go up there. And we can just put this book here. Where are you? Dog and rage. Are you the bling? Am I gonna need more bookshelves? Probably. Oh, you know what? I see what I did. Get rid of that. We have the pigeon book, which I don't think exists out here anywhere. Oh yeah, it does. It's right there. Okay. Grab this. This can go down here. This can come out of there. Go right there. Come out of there. Now I need the other Harry Potter book. Sorry, Harry Potter. There we are. Dungeon Mysteries. And you know what else we need? We need some more, we need some more people. $70 a day. You know what? We'll go with that. That's fine. Is it you? No. It's you. You'll be a stalker. The halfling will go here. Get everything set up. I didn't have Art of War before. Bad Batsby. More Bad Batsby. Yeah, Wyverns. Too Loud on the Eastern Front, I think, was one of the first books I bought. It was. Toss that there. Need another bookcase, don't I? Yeah, damn. Let's grab one. Basic Bookshop, buy now. Give it here. Will you fit here? Yeah, buddy. Is that going to drive me nuts because now I have games in the middle? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. That's better. Somewhere else already, right? No. And the Astrology Killer I did have, yes. Okay, great. Okay, and do I have a spot over here? I in fact have 2 spots. Who fucking Ray? Look at that. Alright. So we can end the day. Let's just open it straight up for business. I think I might just need a second used book stand. Can I move this one at all? A little bit. Not much, but a little bit. There we go. Now, can I get used bookshelf? Will you fit? Yeah, you'll fit. Cool. That stack of used books here. There we go. Now they'll fill that with used books. Cool. Alrighty. Alright. I just want to turn the light on. Whew. Alrighty. You got it, man. There you go. Now I'm curious. So one of the things I've noticed, which I did appreciate, is that if I didn't pay any attention at all to this store, which I didn't, the manager that was here would still generate sales without actually using or ordering any inventory. So it obviously wasn't as much as, you know, I could have been making, but I didn't have to think about it at all. Now, what I'm curious about is whether my store in Japan, because it has more employees, it has more, well, now it has the exact same amount of variety, but at the time it had more variety. I'm wondering if at the end of today, the Japanese store will produce, no, we're good, will produce more passive profit than this store did, because that store has more to offer. I will be very interested to see. So we still have some used book boxes out here. These are full. Grabbing some money there. And if anyone happened to be curious, by the way, since I mentioned, you know, that I used to do this, like this was my actual career for 7 years. if anyone is curious if I'm happy with the decision to leave retail, the answer would be a resounding yes. It was definitely a little harrowing. I happened to meet my current boss at the bookstore I was at because he came in to buy magazines, and he happened to come in at call it 8:50, 8:55, and if you'll recall, we closed at 9 p.m. So it was just me and another manager there. The other manager was definitely faster counting down the tills, rebalancing everything to what they had to be at. And, I mean, made sense. She'd been doing it for 20 years, give or take. So, it makes sense that she knew tricks I didn't know. But that night, she happened to be the one balancing the tills, and I happened to be the one still running, the one register we left up for those last 5 minutes. Because this could have been the exact opposite. I might have been the one counting. So I'm talking with this guy, and he said, he ran his own department for both IT and AV, and I was like, oh, do you need help? Like, I used to do IT, and at the time I had just started studying for the A+, just the basic A+ exam. And he was like, no, I don't need any. And then he thought about it, and he's like, you know what, actually, this was July at the time. He's like, give me a call in August. Like, give me a call in August, because I'm trying to get approval to hire somebody else. But you wouldn't be doing IT necessarily, you would be doing audiovisual work. To which I said, well, that's fun, but outside of very, very minor, open broadcast studio stuff, like, I know exactly nothing about audiovisual. And he's like, nah, that's cool. Like, I could teach you. And so I called him and, did my, what counted for an interview. Really, it was more if he and the team liked me, then I was in, and if his team didn't like me, I wasn't. But skated through that. So put in my 2 weeks where I was. Actually, I ended up giving him like 3.5 weeks because the offer wasn't valid until the beginning of September. So I put in my 3.5 weeks, and it was definitely sad because, I'd been there for 7 years, and after you fought with people in the trenches of retail warfare, it's crazy. Like, those people absolutely become your family. In fact, one of the assistant store managers was in my wedding party. One of the managers that was coming up under me was at my wedding, and one of the other booksellers who actually worked at BN slightly longer than I did, also got out before I did, was also at my wedding. So, like, the people that you end up working with in retail absolutely become family. Not all of them, you know. There's definitely a few I wanted to put through a plate glass window. So it was definitely an adjustment leaving. But there's no way in hell that I regret leaving retail. Like, I can play at it for a few hours on a computer, but I don't have to listen to the bullshit. You know, I don't have to get in people's faces and defend my employees because you want to go on your political rant, whether it's left or right. Like I said, we had both. And one week, a brand new Democrat book would come out, and it would be front and center in the store because that's where new books go. And so the Republicans would come in and they would freak the fuck out at us and tell us that, you know, we were, you know, whatever, we were suppressing their message and pushing this leftist ideology. And then the following week, a Republican book would come out, and it would be front and center because that's where the new books go. And the Democrats would come in, and they would freak out at us and tell us we were pushing a right-wing ideology and suppressing their leftist one. And it's like, you guys are in here all the time. You know how our store operates. You know that whether it's a James Patterson or a Bob Woodward or a Michael Crichton, yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever is the newest book, that's what goes at the front of the store. So I 100% don't miss those screaming matches. I don't miss chasing asshole children out of the store. I don't miss fighting with people during COVID. I don't miss the guy that would come up and throw his items onto the counter and demand that you ring it up that instant because he had a bus to catch and the bus was going to leave without him. Every week. And anyone that's worked retail, you know there are hills to die on, and there are battles that you just smile and walk away from because you're not going to win all of them. And customer complaints, they are many, and they are quick to show up. So you have to choose when you're gonna, you know, decide to be an asshole back to the person that's being an asshole to you, and how you're gonna do it. Because I definitely waited on that guy more than once, but the one time that will always stand out in my head, one of the other people working that day, I was up helping cash wrap. I was helping the registers, and one of the other cashiers called for assistance, and really just looked over because I was 3 registers away, and there were 2 empty registers in between us. It's not like she had to shout over anybody, and it was just like, hey, can you help me with this? Like it was something with a coupon, like something wasn't working properly on that register. But she said this as this guy's approaching my till, and he throws all his stuff down and goes, ring this up, I have a bus to catch. And I just walked away and went, what do you need, Alice? And I help her do what she has to do, and then I stroll back over to my register. And I was like, now, would you like me to ring you up? Because I can do that. or did you miss your bus already? And like, I just sat there because what was he really gonna do? He heard the other person call for help before he got to me, so he couldn't claim that I just ignored him, you know. But the absolute look of someone that just finished sucking on a lemon that this guy had, and he never did it again. At least not to me. He would absolutely do it to other people if I was not around. Had another guy that I got into a debate with because he didn't understand why we were threatening to throw him out just because he insisted on hitting on all the female employees. This guy was like early to mid 60s, hitting on women who were maybe in their teens, maybe in their 20s. Some of them absolutely were not legally adults because it's retail. You can start working there at 16. And so the store manager had it out with him, the assistant store manager, I'd had it out with him. But I was the one who was more willing to engage against this depraved lunatic. And he got so annoyed with me because he's like, well, you know, I don't understand how you think you can kick me out just for doing this. And I was like, well, that's easy, Dave. It's harassment. And he's like, yeah, it's not harassment. You know, I'm just asking him out on a friendly date. I'm like, right. But they said no. Which makes it harassment. Because you keep asking. They've already told you no. And he's like, oh, you know, well, where was this written at? Because I didn't get any updated, you know, policies from your store. And it's like, that's not a store policy, Dave. That's just a social contract we all kind of enter into together collectively. He did not like that answer. I thought it was a good answer. So yeah, do I miss retail? Fuck no. Do I miss the people I work with? Yeah, absolutely. But I still see most of the people that I used to work with. The ones I liked anyway. You know, I absolutely, the ones that were at my wedding, with one exception, I still talk to and or see regularly. The one exception, that's not my fault. Sarah, if you ever by some reason come across this, I doubt you ever will, but if you do, check your fucking phone. Answer your goddamn texts. You know, I'm still in that store fairly often. Not as often as my wife. But she's a more voracious reader than I am. But there's no way in hell that I would ever leave what I'm doing now and willingly go back to retail, barring some sort of catastrophe where I had to. Like the stress that I am no longer under is wonderful. You know, not having to go in and deal with just the worst of the worst that humanity has to offer on a daily basis, especially during the holidays. Holy shit. The other thing, don't get me wrong, like, running an audiovisual department, you're talking with clients, you're setting up shows, you're breaking down shows, you're running shows. There are some weeks where, and these are kind of rare, I've had 2 or 3 this entire year, so it's not like it's every week, whatever, but I've had 95-hour work weeks. I've definitely had times where, my wife's going to her aunt and uncle's, or, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? And it's like, can't. Gotta work. But those instances are so much fewer and farther between where I'm at now. There are absolutely crazy weeks. Ooh. But we absolutely we are the heaviest in the spring and the fall, and summer and winter we are pretty dead. And when we're dead, I'm usually running a straight 9 to 5 shift, and I'm spending that time coordinating with clients, or I'm following up with clients on past events. I'm editing photos. I'm learning about new AV equipment and trying to procure new AV equipment so that we can do bigger and better shows and make more and more money. Like, there's still always something to do, but it's much more on my own terms. And I tend to know about my schedule much more in advance than I previously did. Working retail, the assistant store manager was good. He would try and write the schedules 3 weeks out. But then somebody would quit. Somebody would get fired. Something would happen, your schedule would change, and you're closing one night, you're opening the next, and your schedule was so all over the place. The amount of, holidays that I missed, dinners that I missed. I still miss some of them, but not nearly as many as I used to. And I'm much more in a position now where I can say, hey, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be out of town. And I can call in another team to handle what I was going to do. It eats into our profits a little bit, but it's never a problem. I was at my new job for a little over a month before my wedding, which was the other fun thing, switching careers right when you're about to have a big expense. Definitely made for some fun times. But it's one of those, in the first 90 days you can't take any vacation. Actually, in like 40 days, I'm getting married, so I'm leaving for a weekend. And they were like, well, yeah, I guess we can let you go to your wedding, And they were, busting my stones. They were super cool about it, though. They're like, no, that's fine. We got you. Like, how long are you going to be gone? And I was like, oh no, like, we're leaving Thursday, or we're leaving Friday morning. We're staying at the hotel Friday night. The wedding is Saturday. We're staying there Saturday night. We're coming home Sunday. And they're like, oh, yeah, we don't care. You're basically taking one day off. Whatever. Go enjoy your wedding. In retail, I had that day blocked out like a year and a half in advance. Because if somebody else tried to take that day, then that was it. Like I couldn't have it unless that other person gave it up. That's absolute insanity. I don't miss that part of the job even a little bit. But this video has dragged on far longer than I anticipated it would. I've just kind of been running back and forth in here. I went on a little bit of a tangent there. But this is where I will leave everyone for this one. I hope you've been having fun. I hope some of you are interested in checking out this game. Getting to read through more of the synopses. Maybe you'll pick different licenses, get to enjoy different books. The way it seems, as long as you have at least one of each designation, you're pretty good. From what I've seen so far. So yeah, hopefully you guys have been having fun. Definitely check the game out. It's Bookshop Simulator. It's on Steam. It's in early access. Definitely worth the money. Go check it out. Give the devs some love. And I will see everyone next time.